trying to get in business with the label. Companies like Spotify, A, were not only not public companies, B, they were not in business with the labels. They were trying to get in business with the labels so that they can get more of the catalog on their services. What they
Okay, so
so what
so Ian, I think that's a point that we all are on the same page about. No one is arguing that he had a grassroots level build to his career. No one is saying that. What we're saying, at some point from that point in time to today,
Mhm,
he has reap the benefits of having relationships at UMG
mhm.
and allowing those relationships to push his career. That's all people are saying, and
Ian
that's
is
always
trying
kind
to
of
add
being
very important
danced around.
nuance to that
But I don't
argument.
care.
I
But
wish
that's
we
not. But
should
that's
let
not.
him do that.
Well, I also can speak, and I wanted to interject what we're saying. So if he wants to add additional detail, that's okay. But you can't refute what we're saying by answering a point that's not being asked. So what we're talking about is at a certain point in his career, he has had the benefits.
Ian, if
Larry
you could please
Jackson
continue
told
adding the
us.
nuance that you were adding, because I think it's very relevant to the points that are being made.
Well, again, I was asking a specific question. So again, Ian, do you believe that at any point in his career he has had the support of the industry or a machine or whatever you want to consider it? You don't think at any point?
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying
Okay.
is the industry needed him more than he needed the industry.
Well, let's be
This
Okay,
version
cool.
of
And
the industry
also,
did
hold
not
on, let me say
exist when
something
Drake
else.
got started. Drake
Hold
was
on,
the
let me say
one
something
catalyst to
else.
start
second.
this version of the industry. They waited until he had to step on his leverage. This is why they're doing this for Kendrick Lamar right now. This is why the lawsuit is happening. So y'all
This
are
is hate.
arguing that,
Who
okay, you
who is this?
benefited
Because
from this.
she's right.
Well, he
Who
didn't
is this?
benefit
That's
from it
Grandpa
because he
Rick.
created it. They created
That's
it
Rick.
on Drake's back. That is the point Ian is
Let's
trying to
go,
make right
Rick.
now.
Okay,
Okay,
and,
and
Let's
hold
and
on.
go.
again,
Wait, hold
so
on. Let me say
okay,
something.
I want to say
Ian is
something. Do
leaning
we
real
think
quick, real
that
quick.
Drake
Ian is
y'all
leaning
crazy
on
as shit?
real quick. Ian is leaning on Spotify, and he has a good point of when Spotify went public.
Correct.
But Spotify is not the only thing named in this petition
Thank
as far
you.
as tactics to blow up this music. There are other tactics names, shit with influencers, changing the percentages
Payola.
there's different steps and standards of practice that are explained in this petition. And I'm saying Drake is able to outline those standards because they've been doing that shit for him.
You're
That's how he
you're you're
knows what the
only
fuck it
saying
is.
that because Joe said that, and I'm sorry.
First of
What?
all, I didn't hear Joe say that, Ian, and I do love how you always go back to bigging Joe up. And because I love Joe, I'm going to appreciate it, but I'm just going to let it roll off my back. I'm saying that because it's my opinion. So I agree with Joe, I guess. But
And I
Drake
respect your
benefited from that
opinion,
shit.
just so you know, Al.
Thank you, Ian. But Drake benefited from that.
I agree with what Elle said. I agree with what Ian is saying. Um, that's all I got.
I just
I agree with both of
But I
y'all.
do agree
I
that
do.
now Drake is. I think that now, okay. I think the industry needs Drake, but I think the industry made Drake because they knew they were going to need him.
And
Like, I don't know if I'm
thank
I
wording
you.
have
it the right
another
way.
point here that I think could be
Go
helpful
ahead, Ian.
contextually. I think Drake is looking at his career as an arc, and I think he's looking at all the businesses that he's helped make public Goliaths. And
Facts.
and he's saying, I've had enough. Not only did I bring trillions into Universal Music Group, I helped Universal merge and create an alternative additional revenue
I
stream
helped
with
Apple
Spotify.
tremendously.
I
Yeah, that's the
This
house
is
that Drake
Drake's
Whoa,
built. Yeah,
house.
at
whoa.
this
He
point.
helped, and he's also funding whatever other hit artists that are under that label that Lucian.
That's the part where I get a little tricky. I muted the stage. That's just the music business.
Right.
If artist A is keeping the lights on, then yes, artist C, we're running his project with the money we made from artist A. That's been the lay of the land. I don't. Oh, I'm
Right.
sorry, I didn't unmute it. Yeah, that's been
I
the
get
lay of the
that. But
land.
what I'm saying is there's a certain point when you don't have to accept terms the way they're presented to you when you are that X factor. And I think he's reached that point where he's like, look, if you quietly
That's
can't
naive.
address what?
Ian,
Wait, go
I
please
ahead.
finish.
Finish,
I get
Ian.
Do not
Finish,
stop.
Ian. Ian,
No,
please
finish.
finish.
No, finish the
yeah,
point because
finish.
this is
Yeah.
Yeah,
progressing.
go ahead, Ian.
hmm
I think he's reached a point where he sees the kind of intrinsic and halo effect value that he's having on the entire industry as a
Facts.
whole. And he's like, enough is enough. I'm no longer asking you, Lucian and Universal, for some $500 million piggy bank. I want a piece of the house.
when I
forever.
fucking made y'all $28 billion.
Right. Give me a piece of the house so that if I never make another record again, you are going to address the catalog and my impact in the industry. Everything I've done musically, halo effect on the alternative businesses, the new verticals I've helped create, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And until that happens, I'm going to make a fucking stink.
And what they did in response, and this is why you get a lawsuit, instead of working with him on that request, they decided to use all these tricks to promote a song calling him a pedophile, to malign his fucking character, and undercut his leverage in that argument.
But
This is why it's a lawsuit.
but
That's
can
So
I
that's
ask
the
a
wicked.
difference
question?
that y'all
But
are
can I
not
ask a
addressing.
question to can I ask a question to Ian? So Ian, you believe that this playbook just was created with Drake? You don't think they've done the same to all of the greats that have made a fuss?
This has
So that's
never
no, no,
happened
no, no,
in
no, no.
history,
Listen,
ever.
but again,
This
Ian,
happened to Michael Jackson.
I've let you land several times. But can somebody else land so you can then answer after the point's made?
I just put my seatbelt on. Go ahead, Lamb.
Okay. So what I'm saying.
You are so funny. Go ahead.
So
I liked it. I liked it.
what I'm saying is, do we believe that the moment that you ruffle feathers at the top, that Drake is the first person to experience that industry then collapsing on him? It's happened to
No,
Michael Jackson. What are we
Prince,
talking about? These are the
Sam
things that have
Cooke.
happened to the greats that have spoken out against the machine, quote unquote. I know you guys hate that word, but the machine that they once partnered with. This is nothing new. And I think to your point, if Drake is now saying, okay, this is happening to me, and now I want to flip the industry on its head, I think it is okay for people that are watching and speculating to say, but you're kind of doing it once you've already reaped the full benefit and kind of drain the system of all of what you could have gotten. Because my thing is, why wait until a certified pedophile line for you to say, okay, it's time for me to be independent after you've just signed this crazy deal and you were
Hmm.
completely fine with the benefits until it made you look
But he
crazy?
didn't know.
He
I
wasn't
understand.
He
Okay.
aware.
didn't know until
Okay.
that. He didn't know. He thought that Lucian's my man, the company's
Hmm.
behind me, Kendrick, but he didn't know it was like this.
Yep.
And
Well,
And
I
to
got a
further
separate
counter
question.
that point, does that mean just because he previously benefited, if we're acknowledging this has happened to artists in the past, shouldn't now with the information we have make a better decision than audiences have in the past to
yes,
side with the artist, to back the artist?
yes.
Because we've seen how this fight goes. They try to kill him, they call him a pedophile, they do all this stuff to malign his character, ruin his reputation, ruin his income earning potential, all this other stuff. This is the time for us as the audience to get smarter than we have been in the past.
Yes.
I don't
Yeah,
know,
he
Well,
Red
no,
grabbing
no,
Drake
So
up
no,
out
wait,
the
no,
wait, wait,
house.
wait,
no,
wait,
no,
wait,
Yeah,
wait,
no,
wait,
we
no,
wait,
no.
wait,
absolutely
Rick.
know that was
Wait,
his
let me
DJ.
reply to Rick really quickly. Rick, I agree with everything you just said. I want to add. You don't think that would have applied to Drake as well? I said this on the pod. If he knew the
Yes, it
fight
would
that he
have.
was really up against, it ain't time to fuck everybody's baby mama.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And
It
give
ain't
it to him
time
in
to do
Jackson
all
I
of this
way on
agree,
other.
It's
but
You
it's
Apple.
not
this is
fighting the
it's
biggest
not.
strictly
Goliath
emotion. You're
in
talking about
music.
No,
emotionalism. This
that's
is bigger than
no,
your
Rick.
fucking
No, I'm
No,
backyard
I
not.
set.
think
We're
that's a
talking about
great point.
numbers.
No, Rick, I'm not. You're not listening. I don't care who he fucks, but you got to know who you're fighting. There's
Thank
no time
you.
for this other shit
Thank
if you
you.
fighting the biggest nigga in music. There's no
Absolutely.
I
time for
agree
nothing
with
Yeah,
you
because
else.
over
I
here.
feel like the fight that you describing, it requires somewhat of a underdog positioning. And Drake has made
Absolutely.
sure not